He said, well, really, that's good because people that talk like that don't fit in here. So it's a good thing. So what do you do then if it doesn't work with proper firing? Team members eventually have to perform or they have to leave, right? It's really sad when this happens, y'all. All sarcasm aside, bombastic presentation style and all that, it is. There's only 3 reasons team members fail, and it is one of these 3. It's a leadership failure. Leadership failure is when you didn't give them the tools to win, when you hired somebody you shouldn't have hired, when you had a business model you thought was in place, it's not in place, and they can't make a living. That's a leadership failure. You didn't have a lead base to support the production that you hired for. Something was going on. We failed them in some way. I can tell you that in the first 10 years, almost all of our turnover, about 70 to 80% of our turnover was our fault. And the primary heading for that was they shouldn't have been hired in the first place. We brought donkeys in and expected them to be thoroughbreds. I watched the Kentucky Derby last week. I saw not one donkey in the race. It was all big, muscular thoroughbreds with big hearts running for the roses. That's who we want on the team, period. So I walk in after I've been on the road a couple days, and I always walk through the building just to get a vibe off the building and what's going on. I walk in, this new guy's sitting, kicked back his chair, his feet up on the desk. Sales area. And I walk up, hey, I'm Dave. He doesn't even swing his feet off. He just, and I'm like, so, welcome to the team, what do you do here? Or rather, what are you supposed to be doing here? And I'm in sales. And I said, we just met and all. I hate to be rude to you, but I'm just curious, when are you going to start? Well, I don't have a phone. And I don't have a computer. Okay. Valid complaint. How long have you been here? 6 days. Okay. I'll be back. I went down to the IT team and I went, I just met a guy upstairs who's supposed to be selling you doesn't have a phone, he doesn't have a computer. He's been here 6 days. Let me help you with that, because this guy thinks he works for idiots. You know why? He works for idiots. And you and I, we're the idiots. Why does the man not have a freaking phone? Not exactly how I did it, it was pretty close. We just found out he was there yesterday. Who's supposed to tell you? HR, come with me. Did the same thing at HR. It's the guy upstairs. And boom! So we changed processes that day. Did y'all ever do stuff like this? It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So we now have a new policy. This is how you get policy, stuff like that. When a leader turns in a hire, whether the hire is made or not, if it's in the budget for the year, you immediately have to purchase the phone and the computer and install it, just in case you might hire them. Because their stuff's going to be there before they are. Oh my goodness! Y'all, is this real?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a leadership failure. I had another guy, he hired a guy he's supposed to be training, and the day the new guy starts, the VP went on vacation for 2 weeks. I'm going to kill you! What are you thinking? Oh, you're not! So we have a new policy. You can't hire someone when the week you're going on vacation. Why do you have to have a policy for that? I don't understand. Number 2 reason people fail, personal problems. Again, we grant grace. They don't have time to resolve them and turn around, but eventually they have to come back to work. No matter how bad or how nasty or how sad the situation. And believe me, in all these years we've had some nasty and bad sad situations. Some really heartbreaking ones. I had a highway patrol guy standing in my doorway one day. My personal assistant stands up and she starts crying. She's been with me 14 years. I've never seen her shed a tear. I thought, oh my Lord, my family. It wasn't my family. One of my guy's wife was hit head on and killed her 2-year-old. Month-old intensive care. Highway Patrol's here to tell him. We go to find him and we realize he's not in the building. He's in another state setting up a live event. And the Highway Patrol's going, it's going to be on the news. We have to tell him on the phone. And we said, well, we will. You stay here and just make sure we did, so you did your job. We'll get him on the phone, get him in a hotel room, sit down, and tell him his wife's gone. Before we did that, we already had a jet in the air going to get him. And you know that guy's not going to be right for a while. And we did everything we could. How you treat people in situations like that, let me help you with that. You treat them like you want to be treated. How would you want to be treated on the worst day of your life? That's how you treat them. And he wasn't right for a while. And then he was right for a while, and then he has since moved on. But not because of that stuff. But, I mean, you know, you don't recover from that in 6 hours and come back to work chipper. You know? And you're going home every night to your 3-month-old. That's a new single dad. You know? So that guy gets a lot of grace. And so with that guy, that's an extreme situation, right? You give him a lot of room to come back. But somebody that, I got stitches yesterday because I didn't well get to work. You know, seriously. I mean, you know, it's proportionate to the pain, right? And so you just have to gauge that out. You have to use judgment. But when somebody's going through a divorce about 90 days, sometimes during the process, they're going to be useless. Or almost useless. Even your best of the best. If they're not, there's something weird about them. They didn't care. And so usually it's before the divorce and it ends almost on the day of the filing. That's usually where it falls. Sometimes it kind of straddles that. I've had a few of them that hit them a month later. They were kind of like, okay, it seemed like, and then a month after it's all behind, they just fell in a pile for about 90 days. And so you just walk with them and love them and treat them like you want to be treated. And I had one kid, he just wouldn't come back. I mean, like 6 months later, he's still coming, he's crying, and he'd been through a horrible thing. And then he called a prayer meeting, so now I got 6 people aren't working. And so finally I called him in my office. It had gone on and on for like 6 months, and usually 90 days is enough to at least kind of get your footing again. You know, not be perfect, but at least get your footing and be somewhat useful and not distracting. And so I called him in my office. I said, you know, I'm your old ugly Uncle Dave today. I'm not your boss. I'm not your leader. I know what you've been through. It's a horrible thing. You're 26 years old. I have a prediction that by the time you're 32, you're going to be remarried and you're going to have 2 beautiful kids. That's my prediction. And I will also give you a prediction that it's time for you to have a good day. You're only having bad days. And, well, you don't understand the pain. I said, you're right, I've never been through it. I don't understand the pain. But I've observed many other people, because I'm old, do this. And yours is going on too long. Suck it up, man up, and have at least occasionally a good day. I'm not saying you're not hurting. I'm not saying to deny the pain. I'm not saying stuff it. But I am saying, man up. Let's move out of the pain and grieve the grief and move into a life, because you're going to have a good life someday. I'm kind of mad at you right now. So take the rest of the afternoon, I'll be mad. But when you come back tomorrow, have a good day. He came back in the next day. I'm kind of mad at you, but I think you're right, and I think you love me, and I'm going to get better. All right, okay. And so I was in Indiana. I was in Louisville, Kentucky, where the boy was from originally, and I was doing a sound check in this big arena. And I look up, and I had met his dad. His dad was about my age. And I met his dad at another event, and I look up, and his dad's coming down the center aisle while I'm doing a sound check. Lord, now I got to deal with Dad. So here comes Dad. Hey, man, how you doing? He goes, thank you. And I said, why didn't you do it? He said, we knew you would. Oh, which is kind of a compliment. He knew I cared enough about his son not to let him stay engaged in self-destructive stuff, right? And so, kind of a funny deal. And truthfully, the guy came back. He lives in Huntsville, Alabama now, and he came by the other day. He's 32. He's married, and he's got 2 kids. I've seen it before, you know. And number 3 is incompetence. We don't sanction incompetence, right? Now, there's a couple types of incompetence. There's reparable incompetence and irreparable incompetence. A thief is irreparable. I just fired him on the spot. That's not something I'm going to try to fix. That's something your daddy should have fixed. You're gone. You're gone. And, that's the kind of stuff. And, we've got a few other things that are deal breakers for us. You may not agree with this, but it's a policy at our place, and we tell everybody up front, so there's no surprises. But if you have an adulterous affair, if you decide you're going to sleep with people that you're not married to, as soon as I find out, I'll fire you instantly. Because if your spouse can't trust you, I can't. And people don't like that. That's okay. And it's not, you can't do that. Yes, I can. Adulterers are not a protected federal class. Okay. So, great organizations are fanatically intentional of